From the grounds of Deptford High School in Deptford, New Jersey, Channel 5 Sports presents high school football. This afternoon, the Deptford Spartans host the Gloucester Catholic Rams. Hello again, everyone. Rob Christ along with my partner Tad Kozeniewski. A beautiful fall afternoon and a big game for both of these teams in the Tri-County Conference. Gloucester Catholic has had an excellent season, 3-1 at this point, taking on a Deptford team, Tad, that surprisingly has the reciprocal record of 1-3.
Yeah, you're not used to hearing the word Deptford in 1-3, so you know they are going to be ready to play this game. And this is almost a rivalry game between these two teams. I know the Gloucester Catholic kids, this is the one game they want to win every year. A lot of kids from Gloucester Catholic live in the Deptford Sending District, so a big game for both teams today.
That's one good point in that Deptford not necessarily associated with Gloucester Catholic as a rival, but anytime Gloucester Catholic plays someone, there's certain kids just kind of eyeing up that opponent. And there you see the head coach of the Deptford Spartans, Coach Oreo, and Al Oreo again in uncharted territory with a 1-3 mark.
A lot of pride here in this Deptford program, too. A big history, so you know they're going to want to try and get that record back up to 500.
Back to receive Nick Siako and Todd Werbick for the Gloucester Catholic Rams, and Justin DeMuro, your kicker for Deptford. It's a homecoming afternoon, a great crowd on hand, beautiful weather. Happy to carry it here on Channel 5. We're about to get underway.
Let's go, boys! Let's go!
DeMuro just waiting for the word. And I think Deptford really wants to set a positive tone initially on special teams, an imposing defense for the Spartans. DeMuro's kick is away, and it will be taken by Siako. Siako now finds a small seam, and just past the 30-yard line, the Rams will begin an offense that Tad really likes to throw the ball.
Yeah, coming in over the years, they really threw the ball a lot, and they threw to establish the run. The difference you're going to see this year, Rob, is they are going to run to establish the pass. And running-wise this year, Pat Schul is their leading rusher with over 6 yards a carry. He'll be number 33 today. They're going to look to establish him early. Then their quarterback today, who does a great job, Mike Kozeniewski, a very strong arm, but he has a tendency to be erratic with his accuracy. He has 6 touchdowns and 6 interceptions.
You saw Steve Lopes, the referee, waving off the flag. Tony Beanice, the umpire. Donna Henley, your linesman. Bill Brewy, your line judge. And Steve Anderson, your back judge this afternoon at Deptford High School. I formation, 2 receivers set to start things for the Rams. And Kozeniewski will hand it off right up the gut, and not much room there.
That's a great defensive stop by Deptford, stacking the middle. And again, Deptford has scouted this Rams team, so they know early on they're going to try and establish that run.
There you see the Gloucester County Times Sunbeam area rushing leaders. Pat Schul, as you mentioned, 100 carries even coming into today, 577 yards, an impressive mark. And Hayward, Patterson, Robinson, and Dick, your followers behind Schul, who has a sizable edge in yardage. Another whistle here early, and this may be a procedure call against the Rams.
You would think it'd be against Gloucester Catholic, as you mentioned. Well, check that. It's against Deptford. Deptford a little too anxious for that as they lined up in the neutral zone.
And those are the type of mistakes that Coach Oreo really disappointed in his Deptford team this year. Go from a long second down to a very makeable 2nd down and 5 for the Spartans. Again, Jacob Yates, Uriah at the bottom of the screen, and Kozeniewski again will hand it off. And this is an imposing Deptford defense, and Gloucester Catholic having a tough time moving the ball.
Yeah, early on, it looks like they're really stacking the box. Deptford going to eventually make Gloucester Catholic try and beat him to the outside with the throwing game. And Catholic can't do that, but right now I think Deptford's doing the job on that line of scrimmage.
So 2 carries and really nothing gained. 3rd down, again about 5 yards for Kozeniewski and the Ram offense. I formation again for Kozeniewski. Quick drop and throws outside for the 1st down as Kozeniewski quickly hooks up with Yates.
It's going to be a matter of where they spot it here. Had pretty good coverage there on the play as well to come in there and make the tackle by Butler. You see a pretty good arm. Kozeniewski can really air out the ball, and he's very good with these patterns out in the flat. Yates makes a good catch, and that's a good job defensively right on there, and this is going to be very close.
They did not give Yates a very good spot, and as you mentioned, Tad, it looks like it's going to be shy of the first down. So 4th down and inches, decision time here early for Gloucester Catholic.
Coach Kozeniewski is a riverboat gambler. I've seen him go in past years inside his own 20 on 4th and short, so it wouldn't shock me, even though they're about a length of the ball short, that he goes for it here. Well, they won't have to. How about that?
Well, I was wrong already.
That's
by
2 of us.
Stripe of the football, the Rams will continue to move it. First down for Gloucester Catholic. Tony Garzinski, you mentioned the head coach here at Gloucester Catholic in his 7th season, 33-32 mark. His lone blemish this year coming against a very good and a very surprising Cumberland team. Cumberland defeating Kingsway last evening.
First time Cumberland had ever defeated Gloucester Catholic as well.
Kozeniewski rolls, has a man underneath, and quickly slowed down on the play is Ryan Alcott.
Again, though, defensively, J.C. Clement in there read that very well for not a big gain. There was very good coverage down the field on that, Rob. Not many options for Kozeniewski to throw.
Pickup of about 2, 2nd down and 8 for the Rams. Rams coming off a victory last week against Williamstown, and Williamstown has had themselves a pretty impressive season thus far. I formation for Gloucester Catholic once again. Kozeniewski into a 5-step drop, throws across the middle, and just a little bit too much as he tries to find Stephen Rotella.
I think the defensive backs got themselves psyched up for this game because they know they're probably going to be the difference in this game, because so far it looks like they can stop the run. So it looks like Catholic, who likes throwing the ball anyway, is really going to go after these defensive backs.
Kozeniewski, we mentioned the quarterback, great size, 6'4", 205 pounds, a strong arm, a great lineage. His father, of course, a Gloucester Catholic product, and we saw him during the basketball season, quite the athlete. 3rd down again and 8 for Kozeniewski. A 5-step drop, getting a little bit of pressure, throws across the middle, tipped up, but unable to hold on to it is George Spingler.
Well, Deptford came with the blitz right there. Catholic did a good job of picking it up. Pretty good throw by Kozeniewski here, but he just threw it behind the receiver. Now they're coming with the blitz off the left side of your screen. He gets the time that he needs. Good velocity on it, but just behind the wide receiver. If he leads the wide receiver, they would have had a first down.
So Gloucester Catholic forced to punt it away. We saw earlier that this special teams unit of Deptford, very special. Donald Williams back to receive along with John Pila.
Number 22.
And this will be a very short punt down at the 37-yard line. Deptford will start with very good field position.
Something to watch as this game goes on. When Siaka goes to punt again, he took a lot of time to punt that ball. And Deptford really did not have the block on, and they came close to blocking it.
Well, this is a Deptford team who has struggled at times offensively. And I think for the Deptford Spartans, they'd like nothing better than to have a drive initially that will move the football. And first play, absolutely nothing there as the quarterback, Lou Gelsomini, hands it off to Robert Rothmuller, and not a whole lot there.
Well, Gloucester Catholic's defense very big up the middle there. You see Harry Amwake is the one that made the tackle on that last play. As we see it again, it's going to be very hard for Deptford to run up the middle with Gloucester Catholic. When Gloucester Catholic has had trouble this year, it's been on the corners.
2nd down for the Spartans. Out of the eye, Gelsomini. Quick out, has his receiver. And this will pick up about 4 or 5 for John Lewis.
And I think that's a good game plan for Deptford. Get the ball to the outside, get in the corners, because Catholic does not quite have the speed that Deptford has here. So good job to get that out to Lewis. Now you just let Lewis use his athletic ability. He does a good job of picking up some good yards.
And if you recall, earlier in the year when we had Deptford and Clearview, that was that very pass that was picked off by Clearview and turned around for a touchdown. Really a game breaker. Gelsomini was not the quarterback in that game. 3rd down, I formation, and the handoff, and just absolutely nothing there for Corey Pearson.
Again, there's that defensive line for Gloucester Catholic. They have been solid all year, and I think you're going to see as this game develops more from the outside pitch-wise or things to the corner for Deptford.
Back in punt formation for Deptford is number 30, Justin Demuro. Back to receive the punt.
Demuro, the punter, and back to receive Warbick for Gloucester Catholic. And Warbick will have it bounce, and he'll watch it go out at about the 27-yard line. So a bit of a punt battle here between the two Gloucester Catholic and Deptford Spartan punters.
That was dangerous for the punt on Deptford as well. Mike Gartland came in unblocked on that play. Nobody picked him up, and he almost came in for a near attempt at that.
7:26 remaining in this first quarter. Scoreless affair. Again, it's homecoming at Deptford. You know, typically, Tad, you schedule your pansy for homecoming. Certainly not the case this year.
Not today. No way.
Again, Kozeniewski will work out of the eye. And a handoff. Really trying to pound it up the middle, but they have yet to find a soft spot.
Again, Deptford's defense, that front line defense, doing a nice job here. You're almost going to say this game's going to be won and lost today in the line of scrimmage. Both teams looking very tough on that line.
That was Pat Schul, the 6'1" junior that we spoke about. He's had himself quite a season for these Rams. Three receivers set for the first time this afternoon. Kozeniewski will roll and getting some pressure. Kozeniewski looking to throw it and dish, but instead wisely throws it out of bounds. Looked like he had ideas of a shovel pass.
He thought about it twice shoveling out there, and you got to be very careful with that. He's always trying to make something happen, Kozeniewski. This is a great play here as we look at it down from field level. Great defensive back coverage here. This was just trouble all the way for Kozeniewski. It's a good thing he was able just to throw it away. There you see the fake. He did it twice, then finally threw it away.
Kozeniewski's a big kid, but Tad, I'm not a big proponent of having quarterbacks roll against their throwing arm.
Hard to do. It's very hard to make any kind of throw, let alone an accurate throw that way. And I believe we have a penalty on the play as well there against Gloucester Catholic. Receiver downfield, we hear is the call. And that'll happen sometimes when you have that quarterback scrambling around. The linemen think the pass is off and start moving down.
Exactly. So somebody released early. Second down. 13 or 14 to go here for Gloucester Catholic. Again, quite a few flags here early. Two receivers split right. And the pitch. They'll work the ball outside. Not much running room as they go to the short side, but Schul picks up a few.
Just a case trying to get something quick, a quick block, and get some movement down the outside. Schul uses speed there. He's very good at reading and reacting, and Schul got it around the corner, but they're still fairly far away from the first down.
Schul with 4 touchdowns on the year. It's a team that's averaging 173 yards per game via the ground and really having a tough time moving it thus far.
Got to credit to this Deptford defense today. They're playing very well.
Again, Kozeniewski out of the eye. Quick drop, finds a man, and should be enough for the first down as he hooks up with his big target, Steve Rotella.
As Steve Rotella lines up at his tight end position, he just lines up the block, comes across the middle of the defensive backfield, and he's wide open here. And Rotella's had a good year as well. He's caught a lot of balls, and you can see he's a big young man as well. And that's just a linebacker missed the coverage there, and a good throw by Kozeniewski.
First and 10, Catholic. Kozeniewski again to the air. He'll throw, has a man, it's tipped up and caught. And once again, finding Rotella.
And the defensive back was there. It just went through the defensive back's hands there. And again, that goes back where we talked about how Kozeniewski will throw any ball, anytime, in any situation. As we'll see it here again, he zips this out there, and it could have been intercepted, but he had enough on it to get it over the defender's hands. And just into Rotella's hands. Rotella, a very good receiver, as are all the receivers for Gloucester Catholic.
Well, I tell you, Rotella listed at 6'4", 235, and he is all of that. The handoff inside, and again, Deptford doing a nice job with the run game as Schul is stopped.
That was a very good play call for Gloucester Catholic. They've done a couple passes in a row. They come in with the draw there, but a good job. One of the tackles got in there and was able to make the shoestring tackle. This is where we're seeing the advantage of Catholic having this passing game and being able to open it up.
Still over 5.5 minutes left in the first quarter. Scoreless, Gloucester Catholic with their second possession of the day. This time Schul finds a seam, he drops the football. And it looks like it may be Deptford who has it. That's the early indication it is.
And that's the kind of thing that Deptford has to do to keep themselves in the game. He had a pretty good hole here. Someone reaches him, he ran in right in there, one of his own blockers and a defensive lineman. That's just a mad scramble for it. A big break here for Deptford.
It looked like it was J.C. Clement on the recovery. Big turnover, and we'll see if Deptford can take advantage. Gelsomini, your quarterback, has Pila split right. And a nice chunk there for the Spartans.
Good job of the misdirection play to just take it up the middle. The defense was heading out towards the quarterback out to the left-hand side, but the ball went right up the middle. A good job there, but for Deptford. A little bit of momentum shift here now.
See Coach Oreo. Mathematically, probably still in the race for the Group 2 playoffs, but they would have to have a lot of things go right for them. Obviously, one of which would be a victory here during homecoming. Second down. And this time, Pearson, your ball carrier, with maybe a yard.
Just trying to power run up the middle. Set something up for a third and short. Again, if you're Deptford here, you want to try and keep the ball out of Gloucester Catholic's hands with their fairly strong offensive game. So you're just trying to move the chains and take it down by down.
And more than enough here for the first down. It looked like it was Whitley. This is a Deptford team that is not afraid to substitute freely.
And that's going to help you, especially as you get in the third and fourth quarter as this game goes on. These lot of smaller schools that we're dealing with, a lot of players have to play both ways. So it's your advantage if you get really mixed players in.
That actually was Rothmuller, 31, not 21.
Also at Harvard Stadium in Cambridge, Massachusetts, Lafayette 17.
First and 10, Deptford getting their first down of the afternoon. And now some room for Rothmuller, and he slips on the side, fumbles the ball, but he is ruled down. We had a good look at that. That's a good call by the official.
We'll see here again coming into your living room. Nick Siako comes in. Otherwise, this could have been a big run. Once you get around the corner, that's when you can really do some damage against this Gloucester Catholic defense. But Siako came in, and you can see there he was clearly down before the ball came out.
Gain of 2 for Rothmuller. And off inside, and the pile moving Gloucester Catholic a shade, not a whole lot there, and that'll bring up a long third down for the Spartans.
That's the play that's worked from the best. The quarterback hasn't really kept it a whole lot himself, just going right up the middle with it. Again, I think that's going to be their toughest yards to get, the ones out the middle. You can see whenever they've made a big play, it's going to come around the outside.
The only time Gelsomini went to the air was that quick hitter to the wideout, quick screen, rocket screen, I guess they like to refer to it as. And Gelsomini likely to go to the air here, again working out of the I formation. And getting pressure, and he's hit and sacked. Big sack by Gloucester Catholic's Ed Kispert, the 6'4" senior, and you can see just by the size of Gloucester Catholic,
What they did is they bunched the defensive line of scrimmage. They had more people to block than that were there for Deptford, and Kispert came in unblocked, and that's an easy sack and a well-designed play defensively for Catholic.
So Deptford forced to punt it away once again. It'll be DeMuro getting some pressure, but gets away. A nice kick that will bounce and go out of bounds just inside the pylon. This will be down at the 1-yard line. You can't ask for much better than that. A 54-yard punt from Justin DeMuro.
And that's just what Deptford needed here. They hold the field position advantage in this game with 1:32 to go in the first quarter. I mean, there's pros that can't kick that ball as nice as that right inside the pylon.
And there's a push in the back against Gloucester Catholic. Obviously, that would be halfway to the goal line, so that you hit the half-yard line, essentially. This will be one of the shortest penalties of all time, Ted.
Yes. The length of the football. Very impressed here thus far with the special teams game of Deptford. They've been really able to pin back, especially now, Gloucester Catholic deep in their own zone. And your offense changes. When you've got your back in the end zone, you may not open it up as much. You notice as Gloucester Catholic got up the midfield that last series they had the ball, they're more willing to open things up. And that changes the whole outlook of the game.
Well, this will be interesting. First of all, they're discussing where exactly to mark the foul. And, in fact, whether or not it should be marked, because typically it's a spot foul. But additionally, being this far in their own end, Tad, they've not had much success pounding it up the middle. But as a coach, you're a little leery of dropping back to throw the ball or going outside the tackles.
And as we mentioned, Kozeniewski is interception thrown. I mean, he has thrown 6 touchdowns this year, but he's also thrown 6 interceptions. And if you do one of those quick hitters on the outside, now this is against Deptford, we're told here now. If you throw it to the outside, yeah, that could be an easy 6 going the other way.
And Oreo is beside himself. So initially, in speaking with the referee, we did see the hand go as if it were against Gloucester Catholic.
Yes, they did.
And he's asking, how can I have a push in the back when I'm punting the football?
Now, Catholic is, are we going to re-kick this now?
That is a huge break for Gloucester Catholic.
That is odd. How can you have pushing in the... Obviously, coach not very happy with what's going on, but it looks like you're going to have to kick it off once again to Catholic, and Catholic very good on their return game. So far, Deptford's done a good job of keeping that in check.
Well, I mentioned before that Coach Oreo not pleased with some of the mistakes that his team has made this year. We mentioned earlier the offsides that set up a 2nd and 5. I can't think of a bigger penalty other than a return for a touchdown against the team. And again, when you are punting the ball to have a block in the back, you just have to shake your head.
You can understand where he'd be upset because the ball was inside the 1. Now your punter's going to have to kick the ball about his own 22 or 23-yard line against a team with a pretty good return game. So this is going to be now they're moving it back. Well, they're going to move to the near hash line. This is a big, big break for Gloucester Catholic.
Well, the ball was initially, this is a 15-yard penalty.
Wow.
The ball had been spotted at the 45. Now it's at the 30.
Coach is still upset on the sideline, obviously.
And he's asking, how is the ball spotted at the 30-yard line? We have mass confusion. And Steve Lopes, the referee, he's still trying to figure it out.
The linesman came in just to try and get the last spot of this ball down. You're right, it is 15 yards back than where it was before. And this just disrupted the entire flow of this game.
Now they're moving it 2 yards forward.
They'll meet you halfway.
Coach Oreo still does not understand what is transpiring here.
I'll be honest with you, I've never seen block in the back by a kicking team.
Well, I'll also be honest with you, I'm not sure what's transpiring here. Justin DeMuro again will punt it away. Again a spiral and another good kick, and this bounces inside the 20. It is picked up this time by Wibrick. And he will return it inside the 30-yard line. But I tell you what, you have to be impressed with what Justin DeMuro has done.
He has kicked the ball extremely well this afternoon. And, now you can really see why Coach is upset, because there's a difference in almost 30 yards of field position after that penalty.
And it's not just 30 yards, which is obviously quite a bit, but also the spot being inside the 1. There you see the Tri-County Royal Division. And these records include last night's game. We've had Clearview on here before. Cumberland barely lost to Clearview. And Gloucester Catholic, of course, in the hunt at 3-1. Delsey, Williamstown, and then everyone else. But certainly, Tad, no one expected Cumberland to be a part of that.
Yeah, usually when you show standings like that, Cumberland's the last team you see in there, and they have just developed a really nice midget program they've developed the last couple years, and they have some size and they have some speed. They're going to surprise some people this year, as they're doing to a lot of people right now.
I'm going to probably shock you, Tad, but there are some players that leave their own district to go to another school, and that was the case with Cumberland for years.
Okay.
Calzanetti throwing it outside and falls incomplete. Cumberland, I won't mention the teams that Cumberland was losing players to, but obviously now they're staying home, and that team has turned it around.
And they're a very solid team, very, very big. I was very impressed when I saw them play with their size and their speed. I mean, they've got it all. And they're definitely going to be a force. And you have this Gloucester Catholic team, if they can get by today, they still have to play Clearview.
That will be an excellent game. I formation again for the Rams on 3rd down. Calzanetti pump fakes, has a man wide open, and Calzanetti overthrows his man, looking for Jacob Yates. The defensive back bit on the fake, and Yates would have gone all the way to the house had Calzanetti hit him in stride.
Yeah, Dustin Fowler, as they say, was caught with his hand in the cookie jar. He bought the fake, he came storming in, and Yates would have been untouched down the sidelines. And as you see Calzanetti there, he had the touchdown and just overthrew it.
Well, a big sigh of relief from Coach Oreo and the Deptford Spartans. The special teams mistake will not cost them. And not only the yardage, Tad, and the spot, but also the momentum swing was critical. And a good opportunity there, I think, had Blazik laid out, he may have had a block. Blazik went up instead of out.
Yeah, we called that in that first punt. Siako is taking a lot of time to get this one out, and unfortunately Deptford was a little bit afraid of roughing the kicker, but if you jump in front, he had a great chance to block that one as the cheerleaders on homecoming. A beautiful day for football here from Deptford. You couldn't ask for a nicer day for football.
No, this is truly football weather, probably about 60 degrees outside, a soft breeze with nice beaming sun to kind of warm things up. This is where the players really perform at their optimal. I formation once again for the Spartans, and they'll continue to push it right up the middle, picking up about 3 yards, and that should be the last play of this first quarter. It's been a bit of a punt fest here, and Justin DeMuro of Deptford has really showcased his skills, punting twice on that last series and really backing up the Gloucester Catholic Rams. That'll do it for the first quarter. We'll step away from Spartan Stadium, where we are scoreless. Welcome back to Deptford Stadium, and a penalty flag will start things in the second quarter. I suppose somewhat appropriate, Tad, after the many flags that we had in that first quarter.
We may even have to, at halftime, go figure out what the heck happened on that punt play. That was one of the oddest calls I've seen, and this looks like it's going to be holding of some sort or an illegal block against Deptford. Good penetration defensively by Gloucester Catholic on that front line. They were deep in the backfield of Deptford.
Holding Deptford.
And these are the kind of things, Deptford coming in with a 1-3 record. These are kind of things that show me why they are a 1-3 record. They're getting some momentum going. You can feel things kind of going their way, and now here they are going back 10 yards. That's what happens when you're struggling. Little things like that just keep piling up and piling up.
It's second down to Deptford. At about 18 yards to go.
Second down. And Gelsomini throws, and just a little air underneath that one, trying to find Lewis.
Well, Lewis just went 10 yards down the field and stopped, and Gelsomini just airmailed that straight over his head. And no shot at all for that young man to make the catch. But Deptford's going to have to make some pass plays in this game to move the ball down the field. They come in only averaging, they have up here 18 points a game, and this Gloucester Catholic defense is pretty strong. They're going to have to spread around the field a little bit.
Third down and a whole bunch. We'll call it 18. I formation. Two receivers, split right. Gelsomini on the quarterback draw, and he loses the football. It looks like Deptford may have fallen on it. It was Gelsomini carrying it somewhat loosely, but Deptford able to mitigate that mistake. And DeMuro, who's been their #1 weapon, will trot on.
I actually like this play, the quarterback draw right up the middle, and you can see the hit here is going to come from behind. And they were fortunate to pick up the ball, but originally I like the play, the way they came up the middle. There was a little bit of room there to make something happen.
So DeMuro will again punt it away to Gloucester Catholic's Spingler. And this is actually going to go to Warbeck. Warbeck will be forced out of bounds at about the 24-yard line.
But a good directional kick again, trying to take it towards the pylon and not give a lot of room for the return. That's exactly what Deptford did there. And again, they're still winning this field position game, making this tough for Gloucester Catholic.
We are scoreless with 10:50 remaining in the first half. Rob Christ along with Tad Kozeniewski. It's nice to work with you, Tad. It's been some time.
Yeah, it's good to be back here.
Gloucester Catholic. Again, a 3-1 mark, defeating Delsey, Overbrook, and Williamstown. Their lone blemish against Cumberland. Gonzaletti will pitch, and he'll find Schul. And a lot of room here as Schul falls down after a pickup of about 13.
Yeah, they got the pitch out very quickly to Schul. A lot of good seal-off blocks in the front line, and that left side of the field out in the flat was wide open. You got some good wide receiver blocks here as well. You can see the blocks coming in front. The black shirts are just steered out of the way. There's a beautiful block right there by Ryan Alcott. Alcott, you don't hear his name a lot, but Alcott's an outstanding blocker.
In the handoff up the middle for Schul. Now Schul's name is spelled S-C-H-U-H-L. You may want to change it to school because he's been schooling most of his opponents throughout the year.
And if you play Gloucester Catholic, as coaches are going to see as they scout Gloucester Catholic, when they run the ball, Schul is going to run the ball 9 out of 10 times. So you know 33 is going to get it. Just Gloucester Catholic is pretty good at executing their blocks.
Second down. Calzanetti drop, and looks like we're going to have a procedure call against Gloucester Catholic.
And getting back to that point, Gloucester Catholic as a team has rushed the ball 133 times. Schul's has rushed it 100 of this 133 times. So you know 33 is going to get it.
That'll back up the Rams. And Calzanetti, who we mentioned before, likes to throw the football, probably will do just that.
And what makes them very unique is most teams will go just to wide receivers. There you see the penalty situation there thus far, just about even. He has a tight end who can catch, who's already caught a ball in this game in Rotella.
Again, the I formation with two receivers split right, and a fumble, and Schul falls on it. And Gloucester Catholic is heading in the wrong direction.
Well, Schul saw Derek Huggins, number 80, was coming, breaking free, ready to tattoo him. And Schul had his eyes up, not on the ball. And good thing for him that he jumped on the ball, but good pressure there by Huggins. I'm impressed with this Deptford defense so far I've seen today. They have done a good job of staying home, filling the gaps. Done a nice job.
It's been a defensive struggle. A little over 9 minutes left in the first half, scoreless. Calzanetti will drop back, getting pressure. Calzanetti steps up in the pocket, still being forced out and slung down, holds on to the football, but that will go down as a sack as Calzanetti dropped for a yard loss.
Well, on the replay, we're going to see what Kozeniewski's doing here, but the nickel backs were in, and he had nobody to throw to down the field. He still wants to throw here, and there were just black jerseys everywhere, and that's one of those coverage sacks down the field.
It was Elwood Clement with the sack. Williams and Pila back to receive the punt of Siako. Siako has it blocked. Well, you called it, Tad. And the football's down on the ground, and Deptford will have excellent field position.
Hey, you could see that the first punt of the game, Siako was taking way too much time, and that's just good coaching by Deptford to tell their kids, let's go after this, let's go get it. You'll see Siako here got a high snap. Didn't hold it as long as before, but look, there's 3 and 4 black shirts in there. And now everybody sees who picks it up. Now, the one thing here, if you're Deptford, you did not want to pick that ball up, and they did not, so they were good.
Rothmuller fell on it, and Deptford starts with their best field position of the afternoon. Straight on tackle, not enough, as Deptford trying to get back to the line of scrimmage. That's about all they got. And there is a player shaken up. I believe it's Rothmuller.
Hey, we'll look at it here again. Rothmuller running to the left side, drags a defender for Gloucester Catholic. He's dragging this young man a good 5 or 6 yards, and he gets hit late here. Not an official late flag play, but gets hit just before he goes out of bounds. He is shaken up right on that sideline. Early on in the year, you'll see a lot of cramping, and they're reaching down in the lower leg area. You see the trainer in there. Hopefully he'll be okay. That's one thing that's changed over the years with these trainers out here. Back in our day, there wasn't such thing as a trainer.
Well, here on Channel 5, of course, every week we have the high school sports report. This week, no different. Wednesdays, 7:30, 10 o'clock, our own Sean Leary, John Mondelli, and the rest of the gang will talk about goings-on here in Gloucester Catholic, or excuse me, Gloucester County. Gloucester Catholic, of course, a big part of that. And we're starting to get into the heat of things. Playoff time already here in tennis and some of the other sports just around the corner. I formation. And Gelsomini throws out, has a man in and out of the hands of his intended receiver, Tommy Sampson.
You can almost see the difference between the two teams, the way they run their offensive sets. Gloucester Catholic, when they have the ball and they go back to pass, things look a little more fluid. When Deptford goes back and looks to pass, everyone looks a little bit unsure of themselves. The receiver's trying to run a decent round. That wasn't bad, but everyone just seems a little bit unsure when they go to the pass play. And in order to win today, Rob, they're going to have to hit some passes.
Third down for the Spartans. Out of the eye. Again, 2 receivers split right. Gelsomini with a lot of time. Throws, it's tipped. And no one able to come down with it. We mentioned before, Gloucester Catholic with excellent size at the defensive spot. And here's just another indication of that.
He's looking at 2 wide receivers on the far side who kind of did a crisscross. There you see the jump and almost blocking there. That was by Kispert. So Kispert did a good job. As they say, if you can't get in there and make the sack, get your hands up. And he wreaked havoc. And here comes the star of the game for Deptford.
We mentioned before, Kispert at 6'4", able to get his fingernails on that. It's tough for Gelsomini to get it over that impressive Gloucester Catholic line. But Mignoro to punt it away, and again he'll look to get it inside the 20-yard line. He does, as the fair catch is called and down at about the 12. 1st and 10, Gloucester Catholic. Their field position keeps going backwards, Ted.
Yeah, I mean, Gloucester Catholic has been very close to the back of this end zone all day, and that's been a good sign for this Deptford team. Put a lot of pressure on Gloucester Catholic offensively, and they can't quite go to their bag of tricks. And Coach Kozeniewski does like to go deep in his playbook. It's just hard to do when your back's against the end zone.
This is a Gloucester Catholic team that has scored over 20 points in each of their 3 wins, so they're not used to being held scoreless. Quick out. Pickup of about 4 yards as Kozeniewski finds Spengler.
George Spengler, actually, his cousin out there, made the catch. I like the way these receivers catch the ball, use their hands. You see a lot of players these days like to cradle the ball in their numbers in their stomach, but a lot of these Gloucester Catholic players very good with their hands, very sure-handed.
The only game that Gloucester Catholic did not score 20 points, that was their 16-13 loss to Cumberland. Second down, I formation again for Kozeniewski, and right up the gut. And here you see some of that second effort of Schul, and that's what makes a great carrier, Ted.
And that's what adds those extra little yards and can move the chains as they do there. It looked like he was going to go down initially, just follows his block, still fighting away. He gets a good almost 5 extra yards just on that lunge there.
And with the lunge, he picks up the first down. So Gloucester Catholic with a little bit of breathing room with 6:30 and counting left in this first half, deep in their own territory. Ball at the 26-yard line for Kozeniewski and the Rams. Kozeniewski play action pass, hits his man, and fumbling the football out of bounds is Rotella. He did the tough thing, which was catching it, holding on to it afterwards. It's like a greased pig.
That's the second time he's done a good job of catching the ball in traffic, and a nice tackle there by J.C. Clement. J.C. Clement came in there nice and hard and knocked the ball loose from him, and Catholic was fortunate that rolled out of bounds.
Now, 2 straight first downs now for the Rams. They're starting to feel confident, and Kozeniewski finding his groove. And of course, I spoke too soon, Ted. It's been that kind of afternoon.
Looked like either the left tackle or the tight end jumped about 2.5 counts before the play, so that's going to cost Gloucester Catholic 5.
This is indicative of why the score is 0-0. I mean, each team has shot itself in the foot.
It's just like you feel like, all right, Gloucester Catholic started to move the chains, and now here they go. They take 5 yards back, and it makes it that much tougher.
1st and 15.
Tell you what, though, the pace of the game, if you ask Deptford what the pace of the game they would want, this is it right now.
3 receivers for the Rams, 2 split right. Crispert, the inside receiver, and now Kozeniewski gets a Deptford defensive team picture.
That was a great defensive call there for Deptford. They come with the blitz, the middle linebacker, Michael Butler, the junior. He's going to come on the right side of your screen, number 56. He just gets by the nose guard there, the center there, and comes in on the sack. It's a beautiful job of waiting to the right time to blitz. Sometimes if you blitz too early, the lineman can identify it. He waited perfectly, and the lineman was not able to block him.
Second down and a bunch. Kozeniewski. The draw play, nothing doing. And there may be a loss on this play as well, as right now Deptford is controlling the line of scrimmage. Schul will drop for a loss.
Well, the 5 defensive backs are in on that play, and that's an either all or nothing play. Sometimes you can get big yards on that, but a great job to clog the line of scrimmage. Originally, the nose tackle in there did a good job. That was Sharp, and then Huggins came in and made the tackle.
And Sharp really held up that line and allowed his help to finish the deal. Third down. The ball is at the 27. First down is midfield. Kozeniewski, deep drop, throws out, has a man wide open. And that'll be more than enough for the first down as Kozeniewski hooks up with George Spengler. Hard to believe someone's so wide open.
Spengler just went right through the gap in the zone. Kozeniewski's watching him all the way, waits for him to break by the defender, and just lets that one go. And as you can see there, he's open by a good 10 yards. Good effort here to get down the field and make the first down. That's a touchdown-saving tackle by Fowler. That's the biggest difference, Rob, between these two teams. Gloucester Catholic has big play potential.
A 30-yard hookup. Kozeniewski to Spengler has the Rams moving the football. And now another handoff and a big gain here down the sideline and finally pushed out of bounds. Ryan Alcott, again, you mentioned he doesn't get a lot of the press, but doing a fine job for the Rams.
Well, in 4 games, he's only carried it 10 times. This is a great mix-up call because everyone is keying on the Shul on the right side, and going back on the left is Alcott, and he's just running people over, missing tackles the whole way is Deptford. This is a big breakdown for Catholic as they are on the doorstep.
First and 10 for the Rams. 4:25 left in this first half. Kozeniewski throws underneath to Alcott, and Alcott cut down at about the 10. There is a penalty flag, and it seems like we can't get any momentum in this game, holding against the Rams.
Well, you talked about it earlier, shooting themselves in the foot. They had a great shot of momentum coming down the field. Now it's going to cost them 10 more. And it's an advantage Gloucester Catholic has. They have so many offensive players that can catch the ball. You had the fullback there. As you see the referee make the call there. The fullback has caught the ball today. We've had wide receivers catch the ball. The tailback has caught a ball, and the tight end has caught a ball. Most high school teams, you can almost key on one wide receiver or one player, and you can't really do that with Catholic.
Well, in the background, we heard some scores from out of town, and Delaware and Northeastern tied at 20, and Northeastern, one of their big targets, Gloucester Catholic alum by the name of Plum. Down underneath, and Kozeniewski finds Donald Williams.
It's very rare that you see a Gloucester Catholic player not catch a ball, and they caught it right there. This is a nice firing ball. You can see right in your living room. Great job to make that catch by Yates. And when Yates can break a tackle, he can be dangerous.
Yeah, I misspoke. That is Yates.
This defense has got to be getting tired too, Rob. They've been on the field a long time in this first half.
That's a good point. Second down. Still more than 10 to go. The handoff to Alcott. So Kozeniewski and the offensive coordinator trying to keep this Deptford defense honest, and that'll bring up a third down at about 9. Guess I would be remiss if I did not mention that Ryan Alcott's uncle, one of my baseball teammates, Anthony Alcott, so he'd be quite proud to see the job that Ryan has done thus far.
Well, you're in an area, if you get close enough, you could try a field goal here, but don't be surprised if Catholic tries to go to the end zone on a pass play.
Third down. Kozeniewski looking, throws it up into the end zone, caught! Tremendous individual effort on the touchdown by George Spingler as he stepped in front of the defender, and Gloucester Catholic strikes first.
Well, he wasn't even the featured receiver. They were looking to the far side of the field. There's one-on-one coverage on the far side of the field. That's where Kozeniewski wants to go. You see the blocking there. Great coverage on that far side. He looks back, goes to the near side. Basically, that's a jump ball, Rob. And it's just gone out by Spingler, and he out-jumps the defender, makes the play.
Something you didn't see on that replay is that Williams actually had position on Spingler. Spingler stepped in front of him as the ball was in the air and out-leaped Williams for the football. And Gloucester Catholic has the ball tipped at the line of scrimmage, and the extra point will fall shy. Gloucester Catholic on top, 6-0.
Again, it's a shame if you're Deptford, because again, you had really good coverage for the most part in the secondary. It's just you had a jump ball and a good offensive play there by the wide receiver to go up and get it. Well, now if you're Deptford here, you see the time remaining in this first half. You just got to come up and get a solid effort. Here it is again, Rob, as we'll see. Deptford just gets in. One of those up linemen gets a hand on it to knock it down. Deptford wants to just get to the half with something positive here. They're in this game, and I think Deptford's played a heck of a game so far. They really have. Defensively, they've been on the field a long time. But again, it's only 7-0 at the moment, or 6-0. Check that. And this might be an area here on this kickoff return where you might be able to get something started.
Back to receive the kick for Deptford, J.C. Clement, along with Donald Williams. slow-moving affair here.
Back team to receive the kickoff for
2:45 remaining in this first half.
Number 1, Donald Williams.
And Gloucester Catholic, Siako will kick it away, and this will find its way out of bounds, so a penalty here against Gloucester Catholic.
That's a break for Deptford, too, because they'll move the ball up the field, get decent field position as that ball goes out of bounds.
They have a choice. They can have it spotted, I believe, at the 35, or they can have Gloucester Catholic re-kick. I believe Oreo would like to have Siako re-kick.
Okay, well, that shows a lot of confidence in your return men, saying, all right, you know what, guys? I see a big play coming up from you, so you know as a return man here, your coach is counting on you here.
Well, as we've seen today, Tad, the special teams unit probably the premier portion of this football team.
Obviously, coach knows his kids a lot better than I do. In a situation like that, I think I'd like to take it at the 35, but coach may feel, you know what, from the line of scrimmage offensively, we're just not getting the job done. Let's take our chances on a big play here from the kickoff.
And I think conversely, Tony Kozeniewski and the Rams probably feel the same way. That's why the squib kick.
Good point. Let's see if he does it again.
Ladies and gentlemen, just a final reminder to get to a 50-50 cash raffle tickets from the Deptford football tournament.
Halftime will be the homecoming festivities. The homecoming queen will be crowned. Who's the favorite, Tad?
I did not get the lowdown on that for this year, but again, you can see a lot of excitement amongst the students in front of us. Always good to see some old friends you get back here, coming back to your old school.
So Siako now will kick it from the 35-yard line. And this one a high kick again towards the sideline, and again will go out of bounds.
I think he's just missing it. He spun that. The ball didn't even go end over end. It just went straight up and down and spun to the far sideline. Now do they get an option? They're going to re-kick it again.
Well, Gloucester Catholic almost ensuring that Deptford will start with excellent field position.
Yeah, knock them back some more, yeah.
I'm surprised that the Deptford return men are back at the 15-yard line. I would think that they would move up given the kicks thus far, but
well, seeing Siako kick before, he does have a pretty good foot. For whatever reason, he just missed those last two. I don't think that second one was trying to kick it away from the return man. He just missed it. It was an odd, if you don't hit it when you're kicking straight on, if you don't hit it directly in the middle of the ball, you get an odd spin, and that's what he's getting off it right now.
Well, they say the third time's the charm, so Siako will tee it up and send it away here. And again, Williams and Clement hoping to return this. This is from the NFL spot at the 30-yard line. And this is a good one, a boomer.
Wow.
And all the way back to the 4-yard line for Clement. He'll cut it back at the 20 and down at the 23-yard line. So despite two penalties against Gloucester Catholic, you have to credit Siako with that booming kick.
And it's easy now to second guess the coach, but I think the coach did the right thing, thinking that, you know what, we're not doing a lot from the line of scrimmage. Let's see if our return man can make something happen. That's kind of what you're doing in that situation. Unfortunately, you lose about 15 yards off by not taking the penalty now, but hey, I think it was worth a shot.
1st and 10 for the Spartans. Again, working out of the eye is Gelsomini. Quick handoff. Not much there. Gloucester Catholic will quickly call timeout.
Ed Kispert at the defensive end did a good job of staying at home there, and just they ran right into him and grabbed him and fell down. Now you can tell Gloucester Catholic is not happy where they are right now. They want to add more on this scoreboard. They just took their first time out unofficially with 2 remaining.
Some interesting games last night. Locally, Woodbury lost to West Deptford 24-14. There you see the passing yardage. Deptford with 0 yards. They did have the 1 completion.
Just made it to the line of scrimmage. That was it. Yeah, that was a big game, that Woodbury-West Deptford game. I expected a little more out of Woodbury coming in that, but West Deptford, the powerhouse that they've been over these last number of years, did a heck of a job on the turf down at Rowan.
They Mentioned that Cumberland upended Kingsway in the Tri-County Conference. Bit of a surprise, Lenape defeating Cherokee. So Cherokee with 2 losses on the season now, a team that everybody had as their #1 pick to start things. And again, it would be a handoff, and Rothmuller stays in bounds, but not much on the pickup. And I believe Gloucester Catholic will again call timeout.
Nick Core did a real nice job in his linebacker position. He came in on a run blitz, shot the gap, and got in the backfield in a hurry. Again, I just see the biggest thing, the difference between these two teams is big play potential. You're not seeing a lot of big play potential or big play threat with this Deptford team, and that's the trouble they're having. Where Gloucester Catholic, anytime they snap the ball, they can beat you a number of ways. So that's the biggest difference you're seeing today.
8 p.m. on Saturday, 2 p.m. on Sunday. Playing out of seat is hilarious hobby.
The thing that's kept it close is that the great punting game for Deptford today, and the field position has been deep in Gloucester Catholic territory most of the day, and that's been a big plus for Deptford.
2:18 left in this first half, and Tad, one thing that Gloucester Catholic has in their arsenal that many teams do not is an excellent passing game. So 2:18, a heck of a lot of time for Gloucester Catholic. With Calzanetti's arm and his fine receiving core, he doesn't need a lot of time to work his way down the field.
Nope. That's why this play here is pretty big.
Gelsomini, and the draw to Rothmuller. Rothmuller winding his way through the defensive line of Gloucester Catholic. A tremendous individual effort by Rothmuller, and he's finally brought down past the first down marker.
That's not what you call a highlight play, but I'll tell you what, this is one of the nicest running plays you're going to see this season. I mean, he gets by one here. Now he cuts up the middle, gets by another. 2 guys have him right now. Now he pulls away, hits a 4th guy, and then now he gets some help from his friends to push him in for the first down. That is a heck of an effort by Rothmuller.
And that's a huge first down, as Gloucester Catholic now will really be up against it if they want to get the football back. In formation for the Spartans. Again, Gelsomini will hand it off right up the gut, and a pickup of about 3 or 4 for Pearson.
It's little things like that, Rob, that can keep you in the game, because if he doesn't get that first down, Catholic's going to call time. Chances are they're going to get the ball back. Now, Rothmiller's going to, at worst, get them to halftime with a 6-0 deficit, at worst.
1:30 left in this first half. Again, working out of the eye, Gelsomini. Play action. Looking to throw, and now will keep. Has some room up the middle, and he'll be tackled just shy of the first down marker, so a wise decision. Gelsomini was...
He's close, Rob. I mean, they are probably going to have to measure. It's that close. And there's nothing wrong with that, the quarterback. He didn't want to force it downfield. He saw a little bit of hole up the middle. Take it yourself. You know, you never know what can happen.
We'll step away as Deptford calls timeout. 68 seconds remaining in this first half. Deptford moving the football. They trail by 6. Welcome back to Spartan Stadium. 6-0. Gloucester Catholic. Spingler from Calzanetti, the only scoring thus far. Gelsomini throws it across the middle, and it's picked off. Picked off, and this spells trouble as Rotella will put Gloucester Catholic in excellent position.
Well, Rotella's a defensive lineman. He just dropped back.
There is a penalty flag on the field. We'll see where and who this is against.
Here it is again. Rotella's going to be on the right side of your screen. He's number 88. He's just going to back up in coverage. And obviously the quarterback did not see him and threw it right to him. He overthrew his intended wide receiver, too. That's something we've seen from this quarterback today, too, is this is going to be holding against Deptford. They'll decline it. Well, Catholic now has 56 seconds and a timeout to work with. That's a big, big play in this game. Again, you hate to play second guessing in here, especially us, we both coach as well, but that's one they're going to think about when they look back at this game. Because the last thing you want if you're Deptford is Catholic coming down the field and scoring here.
Well, this would be a huge swing. Again, Deptford's offense is not one that generates a lot of scores, and when they do, it generally takes quite a bit of time. So Kozeniewski now with 4 receivers in the mix. Kozeniewski throws, looking for Spingler, and that will fall incomplete.
Deptford defensive line did a good job of putting pressure on Kozeniewski. Kozeniewski's tough. He hung in there and aired that one out, but he threw a little earlier than he wanted to because of that defense getting in there. There you see Coach Kozeniewski sending in this play. It's Kozeniewski got to go over and take this play. They're going to go take their shots at the end zone. There's no doubt about it here.
Second down. Kozeniewski, big drop, throws again to Spingler, and Spingler may have bobbled the football, but they're going to give him credit for the catch.
There aren't many high school quarterbacks that can make that throw. Out on the left flat, cross the field to the right flat, hit the man on the numbers. That's a heck of a thrown ball by Kozeniewski. Here it is again. You can see he throws this on a rope from the left hash mark, almost to the out of bounds line. This is normally a high school throw that you don't want to see all the way across the field, but he makes it with confidence. And it also helps to have receivers that can catch the ball.
They will bring out the sticks. I think Spingler had enough for the first down. I've been wrong once already today, Tim.
Well, you're going to get a good look at it right here.
All right, I'm at 500 now.
All right. Great shot by a cameraman down there. Get you a nice look at that. And these defensive backs have got to be spent chasing these receivers all over the field for a good part of this game.
43 seconds left and a timeout by the Spartans.
That's probably good for the coaches. Get them a breather here. They've been back on their heels these last couple plays. Deptford still, if they choose, has 2 more times if they want to stop it.
Well, obviously the game plan here for Gloucester Catholic is to have Kozeniewski throw the ball and throw it out on his flanks. So should he get a reception, they can run out of bounds, and we'll see if Deptford adjusts to that accordingly.
In the last 2 throws, Deptford has been bringing a linebacker up the middle of the field, and they're just missing on this. So it'll be interesting to see if they try and bring somebody else in on a blitz here and try and put extra pressure on Kozeniewski, but that really puts that much more pressure on your defensive backs if you do that. But we're at a key. This is a key point in the game. You can almost say this could be either way for either team. This point in the game right now is going to be big in deciding it.
First and 10 at the 25. Spingler split right with Rotella. Rotella in motion now. Kozeniewski throws through traffic, and not much here. And more importantly, this is going to eat some clock, and Gloucester Catholic will spend their last time out.
Yeah, again, pretty good coverage down the field. He was actually looking for the wide receiver down the field, went to his short end receiver. You can see here, it's decent pressure. He's looking more down towards the end zone, but the coverage was there. And boy, that was almost knocked down. That's a heck of a job even to catch that ball.
I think if you're Deptford, it's almost better that it wasn't knocked down. You're more than happy to yield those few yards in order for the clock to run down and for Gloucester Catholic to spend that last time out. There you see it, 32 seconds remaining. Ball on the 23-yard line here in the first half, and Gloucester Catholic with no timeouts remaining, trying to add to their 6-0 lead. Kozeniewski to Spingler, your only score of this afternoon.
Well, Deptford here just trying to do what they can to keep more points off the board, because they are right in this game if they can go the half 6-0. But I think with their lack of big play potential, if Gloucester Catholic could score a touchdown here, it could be devastating for Deptford here.
Alcott and Schroeder in the backfield. Thrown underneath, and It is caught. And I believe it's ruled that he is out of bounds.
They may have stopped it just to move the chains.
Okay, didn't get the signal from the referee. Now they will move the clock. So Kozeniewski will quickly down the football with 21 seconds left. Typically, the referee will wind the clock up. He did not. He did indicate that the clock would be stopped.
That's a good job, too, by the defensive back. He knew that Yates wanted to get out to the sideline, so he kind of used that and wedged his body there to keep Yates from getting to that sideline. So a nice play there by the defensive back.
Well, second down, so Gloucester Catholic with at least a couple of shots here at the end zone, maybe three, depending on Garzinski's confidence in his kicker. I formation again for Alcott and Schul. Kozeniewski, with time, throws underneath. It's picked off! Picked off by the Spartans. And now trying to set up the big return for Billy Blazik, but unable to do so. But another big turnover here for Deptford, and they breathe a heavy sigh of relief.
We'll get a look at it here again. This has been the downside on Kozeniewski this season. He's thrown as many interceptions as touchdowns. He's good presence of mind. Now, he just tries to fight that one in the end zone, but he does not see the linebacker sitting right there on the interception or the defensive back. And again, Deptford dodges a bullet. Deptford will take this. They're probably kneeled down right now, and they'll go in the half down 6-0. That's a huge play by that young man.
Well, Spengler made the open field tackle on Blazik. And Deptford, as you mentioned, will take a knee. They will head to the locker room down by 6, just one score away from perhaps taking a lead in this football game. And again, Oreo and the coaching staff has to be pleased with Gloucester Catholic not being able to add to that lead. We will step away, stick around. We'll have second half action after this. Gloucester Catholic on top, 6-0.
And welcome back, everybody. Tad Kozeniewski, Rob Christ here, set for what should be a very interesting second half of football. Gloucester Catholic and Deptford. Gloucester Catholic leading this game 6-0, coming in 3-1, tied for first place in the Tri-County Royal. Deptford 1-3. But Rob, Deptford has come to play, and they are right in this game.
Well, it'll be interesting to see whether they can take the momentum from the end of that first half and parlay that into a score to start things in the second half. There you see the crowning of Stevie Taggart, the 2007 homecoming queen here at Deptford High School. So congratulations go out to Stevie Taggart. It's always nice to see some of the other things associated with school here on Channel 5. And we're underway. A short kick, and this will be picked up by Clement at his own 15-yard line. A lot of room, Clement. And still on his feet, Clement pushing forward. He'll be stopped at about the 37-yard line. Good field position to start the second half for the Deptford Spartans.
And if you're Deptford, you can stay right with your game plan, only down 6-0. You just need to step it up a little bit. Some of your wide receivers need to make a nice play, maybe shake a tackle. That's what they need right now. They need to put a nice drive together and maybe throw in one big play here or there. Gloucester Catholic is very tough with the lead as well. They play very well when they're ahead in the score.
Lou Gelsomini, your quarterback, will hand it off to Pearson, who will stretch out to the 40-yard line, pickup of 3.
And when you run this option offense as a quarterback, you better be ready. He got tattooed pretty good there, even after he handed off the ball. So you always got to be on your toes and ready for a hit.
I'm impressed with the size of this Gloucester Catholic team. Some big boys.
Yeah, their front line, especially, even back in a couple of their linebackers, some big guys.
Second down, working out of the eye. And there's that rocket screen, and Clement will receive it, and he'll pick up about 3.
That was a pretty good play, too, but Gloucester Catholic played it nice defensively. Siako got out there very quickly. He got some help. This is when Deptford's been effective today. They've got the ball out quickly to the corner. Again, a well-designed play as it gets by most of the defense. And that's a heck of a catch, too, by Clement. But Siako gets out there, as does Gartland. Good defensive play in return.
Short third down. And the handoff inside to Rothmuller. And now a penalty flag, probably a hold. Well, it looks like the second half is going to start right where things left off in the first half.
You can see the frustration on the face of Corey Pearson, who just kind of raised his arm up like, can you believe it? Because they would have been, actually looks like where they marked the ball, it would have been a first down.
That is correct.
And now if this is going to cost you 10, let's listen in and see what we get here.
They're marking it off.
Holding offense, 10 yards from the spot of the foul. Repeat.
Boy, as a coach, that kills you, Rob.
You know, as a coach, you can put your players in all the right positions and situations, but ultimately they have to go out and apply those. And right now, it's just not working for Deptford.
Now you go from a first down to a 3rd and 13 in a game where you need some ball control offense. This is where you hate not to put pressure on a quarterback to throw and force a ball in this situation. That's what you don't want.
Well, Gloucester has not completed a pass downfield thus far. Play action, and now pushed out of the pocket. Gloucester will throw it wisely out of play as he had 3 or 4 Rams chasing after him.
But there's a cheerleader that almost got knocked out on that, but that is a heads-up play, as you mentioned, by the quarterback. There was great pressure put on by Gloucester Catholic. Everyone covered down the field. That's a heads-up play to just throw that one away.
Justin DeMuro has been Deptford's #1 weapon as the punter. He will come out to punt this away. And Spingler and Siako back to receive.
Been very effective with distance and getting a good spiral on his kick as well.
DeMuro again, a spiral punt back at the 25. And returned back to about the 35-yard line. Gloucester Catholic with their first possession of the second half.
And Gloucester Catholic, if they stay the way they've been this year, they're going to get a lot of Schul here early on until Deptford shows they can stop it. Then they'll go to the pass game. But Deptford's frontline defense has been doing the job thus far against Schul. And I think as we get on in this game, we're going to see these possessions by Gloucester Catholic really starting to wear on this defense at Deptford. They've been on the field a ton in that first half.
Handoff right up the gut. That's how they started things in the first half. And Gloucester Catholic trying to soften up that middle.
That's pretty much their strategy. They'll take it up the middle for a little bit, and then they're going to go to the outside with the passing game. But Coach Kozeniewski loves to throw the ball. There's no doubt about it. Passing is his passion, and he has a quarterback with a strong arm and receivers who can catch it.
Shane, get ready. Shane, get ready. Shane, get ready.
Kozeniewski. Hands it off again to Schul. And not a whole lot there. So a third down and a passing situation for the Rams.
This Deptford defense, again, front line and the linebackers filling the gap here from the linebacker position. Butler came in there, and there has not been a lot of running room for Gloucester Catholic up the middle of the field. They've had success throwing, and they've had success when they get around the corner.
Three receivers set for the Rams here on third down. Again, the eye, and Kozeniewski, a quick drop, the slant pattern, and he finds Yates, and that should be enough for the first down.
And nothing fancy about that as they get the first down to Yates. Kozeniewski looked at Yates all the way. You're going to see he's going to come back, picks him up right away. But when you've got that strong of an arm, you can key on a wide receiver like that, split the zone, and got it in there.
What I liked about that throw from Kozeniewski is he threw it right about belt buckle high, allow Yates to cradle the football and keep it away from the defense.
And again, these receivers can catch. There's very few high school teams around that have this wide amount of wide receivers who are very good at catching the ball.
Gloucester Catholic will go right back to the run game, and Schul.
Schul again, he's going to be beat up when this one's over again because they will run him up the middle constantly throughout this game, as you mentioned, to try and soften things up. And he does a good job on the delay and finding the hole there, moving up, getting positive yardage.
Second down. Loose ball, but that's after Alcott was down.
And you could hear the whistle was blown as well. Trying to do a quick draw to the fullback up the middle of the field. Again, that's pressure on that defensive line who's held, but now a manageable third down coming up for Gloucester Catholic. So they can do a number of things. You don't know if they're going to run. You don't know if they're going to pass. Makes it tough on the defense.
Yes, with the arm strength of Kozeniewski, that coupled with the running ability of Schul, it's tough for any defensive coordinator. Third down, about 2, and Schul now into the heart of that Deptford defense, and they will make a stand here as Schul continues to drive forward, but I believe he'll be shy, and Kozeniewski will have a decision.
And again, he's gone for it in stranger situations than this. And I think what you're going to see the next time they get into a third or fourth and short like that, there was a good 10-yard cushion for the cornerbacks on the outside. Wouldn't be surprised me if they go for a quick hitter, as they're going to be about a half yard to a yard shy of the first down here.
It looks like they're going to go for it here on fourth down. Now, you know, again, two ways of thinking. Deptford hasn't moved the ball, so why not go for it? But why not punt it? Because you're going to get the ball back in good field position because Deptford hasn't moved the ball. But Kozeniewski will roll the dice here at midfield. And Schul and Alcott, your running backs. It's going to be Schul driving. And I don't know whether he has it. This is going to be very close. It looks like one of those deals where the referee comes in to spot it, steps out of somebody's way, and then takes an extra step to the left, and that may be the difference.
Yeah, it's such an inexact science as you're trying to mark this down. You can see the referee looking. They may measure here. It looks like you mentioned, Rob. It looks like he has it. Now they want to measure it. Oh, we stepping out on the limb.
I think he does have it.
So I agree. And again, that's Coach Kozeniewski's MO. He's a very aggressive play-calling quarterback. I've seen him on a couple occasions, deep in his own zone, go on situations like that.
A gray neon. License plate VVV24R. Gray neon.
Ooh, I don't know. No.
He did not get it.
You can see it's not by much. Wow. 2 inches maybe? Let's give it up for the Deptford defense here, Rob. This Deptford defense has come to play today.
Very impressive. A short third down, and Gloucester Catholic pounds it twice, comes up empty. One thing you don't sense, Tad, is that this crowd is really generating any momentum for their team. Relatively quiet here on homecoming. Kind of surprisingly, this is a Deptford crowd that's typically very animated.
They have been very quiet today.
Gelsomini dumps it off to Rothmuller, who is able to hold on and maybe pick up one.
Where the quarterback had to get that play off in a hurry as there was pressure right in his face. We'll give you a look at it again. It's Ryan Alcott who's going to come right in here off the left end. He plants the quarterback in the ground. That's a heck of a job to make that catch, too. That was a good play call. It's the first time we've seen that play there. And had that been a better throw, they would have got more yardage out of that.
Second down. Gelsomini will hand to Rothmuller on the delay. And Rothmuller still with that second effort driving forward, slung out of bounds. And he'll have a large pickup here. He'll be close to the first down marker, and we may have another measurement.
That's a heck of a job by Rothmuller. We'll give you another look at that here in a second. Rothmuller did a great job of initially following his blocks, and then the rest of it is just all him. This is great effort. He sees he's got trouble there, goes to the outside, uses the stiff arm. Now he's just eluding tacklers and pushing ahead. That's a great run by Rothmuller. They need more of that today.
So that's enough for the first down, and the Spartans moving the chains after the big defensive stop. Gelsomini with Pearson, and in motion is Sampson. The handoff to Rothmuller. Pearson the lead blocker, Rothmuller, and now Deptford trying to establish a running game as this line opening up a few holes.
Yeah, that was probably the biggest hole we've seen this afternoon, too, is McCarthy was in there leading the charge offensively. And for the most part, everything's been in very tight. But that time, that offensive line really did a good job of moving and opening things up. I'll tell you what, we'll hear this crowd if they keep moving down the field.
Round 30, Princeton 17.
Again, working out of the eye. Pila in motion, and Rothmuller able to keep his balance. Otherwise, it would have been a loss. Had he maintained his balance completely, it would have been a huge pickup.
You're going to see Alcott. He's number 21. He's the one blitzing in. He's going to find it, get interference into the backfield right there, and that's what tripped him up. That's a good play, though, by Rothmuller to use the hand to get a couple more yards.
Third down, about 2.5.
I mean, interesting play call here because you're thinking right now, are we going for it if we're close on fourth?
Gelsomini to the up back, Pearson, and Pearson is stopped shy of the first down.
But this is one of those areas of the field too, Rob, where you're probably close enough where you want to go for it. But it's a fourth and about 2. That makes this one tough. Looks like they're going.
Well, Deptford really has no true kicking game offensively, so.
Yeah, field goal wise, this is out of probably your high school kicker's range, but you're thinking, well, do we want to try and punt them and put them deep in their zone? But you're close enough here, why not go for it?
Gelsomini in motion, it's Lewis. Rothmuller driving forward, he'll be very close to the first down.
But Rothmuller is tough, Rob. He got hit short of the first down, almost used that stiff arm again to push the defender off and get what looks to be a first down.
Let's see if we get a measurement. Deptford seems pretty certain they got it.
But the referees are looking right now. They're going to measure this again.
We have had a lot of flags and a lot of measurements.
This is close again.
This is an unofficial Channel 5 record for measurements.
Maybe it's me. I don't know. Convinced you saw there was Roy Pearson said we got it. He told his Deptford coach, says, here's a big measurement coming up.
Wow.
That's close.
Well,
now we see why they brought the chains on.
That's exactly right. Of course, with your eagle eye, you had it spotted from up here.
Well, of course. Very impressed with Rothmuller. Looks like he's decided to step up his game here, and he's been very aggressive with the ball. He's done a nice job.
Deptford moving the football down inside of 3:30 left. Gelsomini with pressure from the backside, gets hammered down by Rotella. And he's slow getting up.
Rotella came in with Sheehan. They came on the weak side pressure and a blitz. And as you mentioned, they were looking down the field, but the coverage was there. But, man, that blitz got there in a hurry. Good defensive call there for Catholic when they needed a big play.
Catholic has been setting everybody seemingly every play, daring this Deptford Spartan team to throw the football.
That's the advantage you have when you play against a team that doesn't have an established passing game. You can send more players and roll more dice on it.
Gelsomini drops again, setting up the screen pass, has Pearson, and Pearson is hit very close to when the ball arrives. And we'll see whether the Gloucester Catholic defender got there a hair early.
Great call by Coach Dior and his staff. They are coming hungry, are those linemen. If they can just somehow catch this ball here, that's a good defensive play. Core timed that nicely.
Excellent defensive play.
If Core doesn't come in there and run interference, that could have gone in for a touchdown. That's how well designed a play call that was. Heads up play, though, by Core, the junior, to stay in his spot and make a play.
Third down and very long. Handoff, no play action, wide open. And finally cut down, Derek Huggins. Huggins had a lot of room to operate. A nice open field tackle there as Huggins unable to shake the defender.
Looked like Huggins lined up as a tight end and just drags across the middle of the field, and the linebacker did not pick him up. That's a great read by the quarterback. You can see there's the linebacker, 54. They missed their assignment there, and then it comes back to one of the defensive backs has to make the tackle, but it's still 4th and reasonably long here, Rob.
Mike Kohler with a touchdown saving tackle. Fourth down and 7. Deptford has struggled in long downs. Gelsomini throws it up. It's tipped. And is it picked off? It falls incomplete. And what's funny there, of course, is that Siako's arguing that he caught the ball, and the Gloucester Catholic staff is imploring him to say that he dropped it.
And don't forget, this is 4th down, so if you're Gloucester Catholic, you'd rather have it be incomplete anyway.
Exactly.
You get the pressure at the line. There's the deflection. And at this point, it's just neat to look at, but Gloucester Catholic would rather have it anyway, back at the original line of scrimmage.
1:32 left.
Well, let's credit the Deptford offense, though. They did kind of what the game plan was. Some ball control offense. They ran some time off the clock and moved the ball down the field.
And now Coach Oreo has to call timeout. I'm not sure they had enough men on the field. They did not, as John Lewis came out late.
Again, the little things, Rob, that'll kill you. That's a timeout you might need at the end of the game. Now you're down to 2.
We mentioned Gloucester Catholic coming in at 3-1. They defeated Delsea 22-11 and blanked Overbrook. Williamstown a victory, an impressive win, and Cumberland their lone loss. But after today, they go to Highland and then Clearview on the 27th of October. Circle that one. That's the biggie.
Yeah, that's going to be a big day here, especially, again, if Deptford does not pull the upset and Catholic holds on.
For Deptford, it doesn't get easier as Cumberland and Williamstown are 2 big-time foes. But for them, power points, that could play a role if they come away with some victories there.
And they're going to need to win these games up through the 8. And then you look at their last game as well, a very strong Glassboro team. So as you mentioned, this road does not get any easier for Deptford. So that Glassboro team today, they are very, very impressive. I think you might be seeing them later in this November and December area.
Calzanetti and the Rams will come out. First down, the pitch to Schul. Schul tries to cut back inside and still working forward.
Fans in front of us wanted a hold on either the end as Schul went around there. Kind of looked like a little bit of, it might have been a hold on that play. We'll give you a look at it here from ground level. It'll be right in front of us as it goes to the right now. Right around there is where they were calling for the hold.
Well, that may have been the only penalty, if it was a penalty, that this refereeing crew has missed today, because we've had a litany of flags.
They did.
Inside of 1 minute in this third quarter, Gloucester Catholic on top by 6. And once again, Calzanetti finds his favorite target in George Spingler. He'll be just shy of the first down.
And for the most part, Rob, that pass is there all day because Deptford is playing about 10 yards off the line of scrimmage at the start of the play. So on this 2-step drop, they could do this as long as they want. And then if they get a blocker, see, there comes the defender right there. It's just coming into your screen. That's Williams. So when they need it, they can go to that play.
Third down, 20 seconds remain in this third quarter. About 2 to go. Big play for this Deptford defense. High formation for Calzanetti. And he'll fake. Calzanetti now getting flushed out of the pocket, throws it up, and in and out of the hands of Steve Rotella. There is a penalty flag here. It was only a matter of time, Ted.
You called it. And our referee, Steve Lopes, has been very busy with his crew. This was thrown on the far side as the scrambling was going on by Calzanetti. Calzanetti does not like to throw the ball out of bounds, as you saw there. He likes to make a play, and sometimes that hurts him.
We're still trying to get some determination as to what transpired.
I guess we're going to find out now.
We have 2 fouls on the play. We have illegal touching by an ineligible downfield on the offense.
Well, I guess we have one more coming. Wait a second.
The second one being mailed in currently.
Yeah, let us know. They're voting. There comes Coach DiOrio. Coach DiOrio is not going to be happy when this game's over, regardless.
Tad, you've coached, and of course I'm a coach, and there's nothing more frustrating than watching your team implode, and then when things aren't going right and people aren't sure what's going on, it's just even more frustrating. An illegal touch, a legal man downfield, and either way, it's going to go against Gloucester.
We have illegal touching by the offense at the 5-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Loss of a down, 4th down.
We never got
what was the second one was. He was teasing us.
Speaking of penalties, we asked the Deptford coaching staff what exactly transpired in the first half on the penalty on special teams. They were unable to determine exactly what the call was either. It was a block in the back, although they were punting the ball, so they seemed somewhat mystified as well. Nonetheless, Gloucester Catholic will punt it away here, and again,
looks like they're coming after him, Rob.
Relatively short kick and a good roll for the Rams. This will be down at the 38-yard line, and that will do it for the third quarter. We'll step away. It's still a tight one at Deptford on homecoming. Gloucester Catholic holds the edge by 6. Welcome back. Deptford High School, homecoming. Fourth quarter, Gloucester Catholic, Deptford, big-time Tri-County matchup. And Gloucester Catholic currently with a 6-0 edge. Rob Christ along with Tad Kozeniewski. That was the first play of the fourth quarter. A few changes. One, of course, they switch ends, but more importantly, Tad, new quarterback in, John Lewis.
And it's a good try by the coaching staff. Try and mix things up. Maybe he's a better runner. Maybe he's a better thrower.
Deptford has been stymied in their offensive approach. The pitch to Rothmuller. He's been impressive today, and Rothmuller, again, winding his way through the defense to pick up a couple of yards.
Mike Gartland finally made the tackle, but there was some great pursuit in the backfield by that defense for Gloucester Catholic. Watch all these white shirts where they were really quick getting off the ball there as they get in the backfield. And if he gets by Gartland here, he has a chance to go further down, but great pursuit defensively.
Steve Sheehan with an excellent opportunity to drop Rothmuller for a loss, but Rothmuller able to cut in and elude the streaking Sheehan. Third down. High formation. Again, it's Rothmuller, and now another penalty flag. Wow. Well, I would tell you how many flags we've had today, Tad, but I've run out of fingers and toes.
There has been a lot. And assuming if it gets Deptford, they'll decline it. Old Catholic.
We have illegal formation on the offense. Illegal formation on the offense. 6 men on the line. Penalties refused. 4th down.
Again, Rob, the little things like that. How can somebody not be on the line? You can see Coach there. You can almost feel his frustration on a play like that.
And it's hard to generate any momentum as a team when you just can't get into any type of rhythm. DeMuro to punt it away, and Siako back with Spingler. Shorter kick this time. A good roll, and this will be down inside the 30-yard line. Gloucester Catholic will start on offense with 9:59 left in this fourth quarter. A strange game today, Tad, as again, so many penalties. And it has really thrown off the rhythm of both of these teams, and it has made the game extremely long today.
Yeah, and you almost feel like if you're offensively get into a flow, all of a sudden here comes a penalty, and it knocks a drive down. It's happened to both teams. Both teams' defenses have played very well in this game, and you've got to feel like if you're Gloucester Catholic, they might be a little bit itchy to score here. They might try and throw this, and this is where Kozeniewski's got to be careful, because you're an interception away from being down in this game.
High formation once again. 3 receivers set. Spingler split wide right for Calzanetti. Drop, big 5-step drop. Calzanetti now getting some pressure, and he'll be dropped for a loss. Another sack by this Deptford defense. They have played exceptionally well today, keeping this potent Gloucester Catholic offense to just 6 points. And they've been on the field quite a bit.
They really have. And Elmwood Clement there did a real nice job of holding his ground and literally planted Calzanetti into the ground. And again, I think that shows offensively the frustration that Gloucester Catholic has. Normally you'd come out probably with a running play there. They come out with the pass play, and Deptford stops it.
Again, the eye. Calzanetti, a quick drop pass. Spingler throws and just overthrows the streaking Spingler. A beautiful ball, but just a little too much on it as Spingler had Donald Williams beat.
As Spingler, as you mentioned, got out there. That's just a case where Calzanetti steps back, takes his drop, just lets it go, and then you just hope your wide receiver can catch up to it. And Spingler was the only one that could have gotten to it. And now the clock stops with 9:17. If Deptford can hold here, they're going to get good field position.
Key third down play. Of course, they had a 3rd and 23 earlier, did Gloucester Catholic, and Deptford breakdown defensively allowed a 30-yard pass reception. Calzanetti again, the drop. With time, now some pressure. Stiff arms one man, now rolling out of the pocket. Calzanetti, whoa, a big hit is laid out. A huge hit laid out by Elmwood Clement.
And Calzanetti just runs off the field. And let's give as we're going to watch the hit here, defensively down the field, again, nickel coverage down the field. There is nobody open down the field. Now, Calzanetti, as he comes down this sideline, is still trying. He's got 2 receivers on the near side, but there were 4 defensive backs on this side of the field, so he tries to take it aside, and here comes this tattoo job to Calzanetti.
Wow.
Coaches were psyched.
Well, if there's any question about that being a big collision, Elmwood Clement 6'4", 240, Calzanetti 6'4", 205.
A lot of impact. Here comes Deptford.
They have blocked 1 punt. They won't hear, and Williams will receive this, still on his feet, and Williams with a good return at the 46-yard line.
Well, you can first of all see that Siako was taught by his coaches to take 1 step and kick, so he got the ball out nicely, and a nice return there by Williams. And again, good field position for Deptford. And now, oops, do we have a flag down? The referees are talking.
Looks like it's going to go against Gloucester Catholic.
And again, if I'm Deptford here, I would keep the ball where it is.
I mean, I don't know that we've had a series of maybe 8 or 10 plays without a penalty flag.
The referee's in there. Here it is. What do we have?
Personal foul against the kicking team. It'll be 15 yards from the end of the kick. First down. Wait, what's happening?
Let's get it right.
I missed the last part of that.
He had to ask the other referee something. They're going to get 15 off the end of the play.
And now they're saying it's against Deptford.
Now it's against Deptford. I thought that our referee, Lopes, was indicating it was against Gloucester Catholic.
He said against the kicking team.
That he did. You're right. That would be Gloucester Catholic.
There has, with all due respect to the referees today, there's been a lot of confusion down there.
And you and I have seen and announced a ton of games in our career, and this one's really, here we go.
Personal foul against the receiving team. All right, 15 yards from the end of the run. First down, Deptford.
I like the little all right added.
Oh, boy.
I think everybody is getting a little frustrated. And that man may be in charge of the brigade.
You said it! Coach, he's right. Did something happen off there? It's what? Tell him! You watch it on TV. Just wait till you watch it on TV.
Get it right on TV.
What did he say?
I think he said get it right on TV. That's a great job by our crew there to be right in there to pick up some extra info for us.
Well, don't forget that Deptford is, this has been a frustrating season. Of course, they thought that they had a win against Delsey, and the referees made a late call and changed that and changed the outcome. And there's Rothmuller. A big pickup. Rothmuller still driving forward. First down for Rothmuller and the Spartans, a sign of life. And it's so the resiliency of this Deptford team.
That's been their biggest play of the game right there, and they really need it. As you see, Rothmuller shoots the gap tremendously quick here. There's not too many white shirts on the other side of the field. It's a play I think you got to try and come back to, find out what worked on that one. A big first down up near midfield.
1st and 10 at the 44, almost back to what would have been the line of scrimmage after the punt. And one of the things that you have to be wary of now, Tad, is that when so many penalties are called and there's some frustrations and some indecision, that's when sometimes the cheap plays get involved, and both teams really have to kind of strap it up and maintain their discipline.
And you're starting to see a lot of that. Just as the whistle goes, or just after the whistle, a lot of extra pushing going on.
2nd down for the Spartans at the 46. And there's a breakdown as Lewis waited to give somebody the ball and nobody was coming.
Somebody was not in the right play in that situation, because he handed the ball off to the invisible running back. You're going to get a great shot of it here. He's waiting for the running back, and there's nobody there. That's got to be the worst feeling in the world. As big number 88, Stephen Rotella, comes in and takes care of business.
Yeah, it's bad enough the play breaks down, but then you end up with Rotella, all of 235 pounds on top of you. That's
not fun.
No. 3rd down and a bunch, and we mentioned before Deptford just shooting themselves in the foot. That play really kind of indicative of what's transpired today. And the draw to Rothmuller into the secondary and right at midfield.
No whistle yet. Well, he is still going to be about 4 or 5 shy of the first down, but boy, Rothmuller has come to play today, Rob. That is another great effort.
He's been very impressive.
He'll see it again here from down the field. It's the draw, and it really drew in some players from that Gloucester Catholic defense, and he breaks through right here. Great effort to continue pushing. Well, I can't say enough what Rothmuller has done today. He's been a very, very important part of this offense.
4th down, DeMuro to punt it away. He has been impressive as well. DeMuro drops the football, and now DeMuro's swung down. And
I don't know if he took his eye off the ball, Rob, but something went haywire on this. Let's get a look at this again. You're going to watch your kicker. Boy, he looked like there's a, well, what do you think, Rob? Possibility he may have been thinking about throwing that? Let's see if he's looking to put this down to throw and then just drop the ball. He catches it.
Well, I don't think so, because look, his line releases. That would have been illegal men downfield, so I don't think it was a fake.
Nonetheless, Gloucester Catholic now has a chance with a good drive to maybe put this game away.
Kozeniewski now under center will hand it off to Schul, and Schul stopped after a pickup of maybe 1 or 2.
And your heart has to go out to the kicker right there, who's had a tremendous afternoon and just somehow had a little bit of a breakdown there on that last play.
Well, we mentioned Deptford has really been its own worst enemy. I mean, they had a good return to about the 49, then the 15-yard penalty backs him up. Rothmuller gets a big pickup. Someone doesn't show up for the handoff. And then we have the punter fumbling the snap. Penalty after penalty. It's been very frustrating for Coach Orio and the Spartans. 2nd down. Alcott. And Alcott stood up after about 2.
And I think if you're Gloucester Catholic here, I know they love to throw the ball. I think you just got to run some clock here. You're going to play the field position game. Deptford has shown a little signs of life here lately, but for the most part, their offense has not been overly effective. I think you just run it here, keep it in bounds, and then just try and pin them back in their own zone.
This is almost identical to the game we had last week on Channel 5. Rowan with a 7-0 lead with about this much time left in the 4th quarter. they did not run the ball. Haggerty threw a interception, and all of a sudden TCNJ tied the score and ultimately won after a subsequent turnover. So we'll see what Calzanetti and the Rams do here on third down. Out of the eye, quick drop. Calzanetti throws it up, has a receiver. It's Yates. Yates still on his feet. Yates cutting it back inside. Yates into the end zone. Touchdown. Jacob Yates. And there is a penalty flag.
But Rob, I think the flags come after the touchdown. Maybe some taunting or some talking. I think this touchdown's going to stay, but a little extracurricular, like you said, would happen in a game like this.
Looks like it's going to be an unsportsmanlike conduct. And again,
that's my guess here.
You get that ball foul, personal foul on the defense after the touchdown. Touchdown is good. Penalty is submitted on the try.
Coach Fiorio again finding it hard to believe, but what a throw by Calzanetti, a great catch by Yates, and that throw was in some traffic too. That was not what you call a totally safe throw, but Yates made a great play out of it.
Following the touchdown play.
Well, going for 2 this year, Gloucester Catholic, let's see. They only attempted 1 time, and they were unsuccessful.
Calzanetti throws, and it's good. 14-0.
Let's take a look at the touchdown again, and you're going to see Calzanetti looking to Yates at his left. He just guns this, boy, and it went right over a defender's head. Now, Yates breaks the tackle here straight down the sideline. This is a great cut in here, and he's got the ball in the inside hand, and he's still able to run through it. At this point, it's just a great play by Yates, and somewhere around this point, right around here, is where the flag was then thrown that we talked about. I'll tell you what, that was a nice pass, but again, that's a gutsy throw, throwing it right over a defender's head. And more credit to him, he got it. He made the play, but boy, that'll make you think.
Well, the problem now for Deptford is not only have they been unsuccessful in moving the football, they have been successful on only a few occasions in moving the sticks via the ground. And with 3:55 left, they're going to be hard-pressed to come up with a pair of scores.
Yeah, you're dealing at miracle status at this point. You need some big-time plays, and their backs are really against the wall at this point.
This is a game that has seen a little bit of everything.
And again, they played well, Rob. I think overall, but we'll take, you don't count the penalties, which is obviously part of the game. The penalties and the mental breakdowns have what killed them.
No question, Ted.
Physically on the field, they've played a Gloucester Catholic team fairly tough.
Siako to kick it away. And the kick right down the middle. And again, dropped by Clement. And he'll get back past the 20-yard line.
So Deptford is staring 1-4 in the face. And again, a lot of these scores, Rob, very close games. You look at lost to Delsea by 1, lost to Clearview by 8, lost to 6 by Kingsway. And again, I thought they played a pretty good game, with the exception of some mental breakdowns in this one. As we mentioned earlier in the game, these little things add up, and they've really piled on against this Deptford team today.
Lewis will remain in at the quarterback spot, working out of the eye. He'll hand it off, and again it's Rothmuller. He'll be shy of the first down, as he'll pick up about 8.
Catholic will be happy to let him run the ball with 3:22 and counting in this game. And the only shot you mentioned is they're going to have to make some passes, and they just haven't been able to do that today.
Again, Lewis will hand it off, and this should be enough for the first down. So Deptford moves the sticks, but more importantly, The clock continues to run. We're inside of 3 minutes now.
And it'll stop until they set the change, but then again it'll continue to count down. So you're at the point where you really need to move these chains much quicker than they're doing.
No hurry up offense yet. 2:45 left on first down for Lewis. Play action, Lewis now. And he is just hounded. Lewis sacked on the play by big Steve Rotella. Rotella has been a force all afternoon.
He's been hard for blocking for Deptford today. So Rotella just comes back in. And here comes this pressure. Good read there. And then they just storm in, and that's it.
For some reason, the officials call a timeout here on their own, and the clock starts up again. Down to 2:25 left for Deptford. Second down and about 20. Rothmuller. And again, a healthy pickup for Rothmuller, but a long way to go for a first. Inside of 2 minutes now. Third down.
And again, all you can say for Deptford fans and their players here is just too many mental mistakes on the field. Not having people in position. We had penalties, not having enough guys on the line. And any time they needed a big play, they either didn't get it or a penalty ensued.
Lewis again to Rothmuller. Rothmuller this time stopped. And that'll bring up fourth down.
And this is just a case where Coach Diorio realizes they just don't have the capacity to pass the ball down the field, so they're just trying to do what they can, handing it off.
There you see points for and points against for Deptford. 69-68, but their record won't indicate that. Lewis back to pass now. Has protection and has a man, enough for the first down. Nice throw by Lewis as he hooks up with Keith Smith.
They're going to have to hustle up because the chains are going to be set again. This is a really nicely thrown ball. This has been by far their best passing play of the game. Good set, good step, nice reception.
.35 seconds left for the Spartans. The handoff to Rothmuller. Still on his feet, and he'll pick up about 4. Timeout called.
Unofficially, that was Deptford's second timeout. They'll have 1 remaining with 23 seconds to play. And that's an amazing stat when you look at that you're going to end up being 1-4 and have 1 more point than your opponents. That is amazing.
You know, the game against Delsey, where they lost 21-20, that was really a heartbreaker, and that changed then from a winning team to a losing team, and you almost got a sense that last week against Kingsway, they still weren't over that.
Yeah, when you're in that tight, there's games like that are just tough to recover from mentally, especially with young men. So it's just going to be a weird type stat here for Deptford because they're not as bad as their 1-4 record is going to show you. They showed some really good defense today. It's just offensively, they just could not get anything going. And when they did, it was either a flag or just a missed assignment of some sort. And we saw the one play where there was nobody to hand off the ball to plays like that.
It'll end around now, and Clement will try to cut it back against the grain, but Alcott stays home and makes another big tackle. We're down now to 10 seconds left. We'll see if Deptford can get another play off before time expires. And they will call timeout. Deptford would love nothing more to at least get on the scoreboard. Of course, earlier in the year, they victimized Overbrook 33-0. They may be on the short end of the shutout tonight.
They'd be hard-pressed to put one in Coach DiUrio out in the field, trying to discuss something with the referee. He's not going to have a high grading system for this refereeing crew, I'm sure, today. He's not been very happy.
Fight to the end, don't you?
And Gloucester Catholic has to feel overall fairly fortunate. They didn't play a tremendous game, but they're going to come away with the win and still be in first place in the division. Tied for first, I should say.
This will be your last play of the football game. Lewis, back to pass, throws it across the middle, and it's dropped by Gloucester Catholic's Mike Kohler. And that'll do it here from Deptford High School, as Gloucester Catholic comes away with an impressive 14-0 victory. Deptford falls now to 1-4. Stick around for post-game interviews and a wrap after this. Welcome back to Deptford High School. Gloucester Catholic victorious 14-0 over Deptford. Rob Christ here with winning head coach Tony Garzinski. And coach, it's been a long time since you defeated this Deptford team. This win has to be particularly sweet.
Oh yeah, it was the first time in 8 years, and we're really happy with it.
Now, this is a Deptford team that typically is very strong up front, a team that's very formidable, and yet a tremendous defensive effort. Talk about the game planning for this afternoon.
Well, our defensive coordinator, also my assistant coach, Dave Vignola, he teaches here in Deptford school system. It's really a big game for him. He coordinates all the defense. He did a great job with film, devising what they are doing and having our people in the right place to stop them.
Now, Deptford, during the course of the game, I thought one of the momentum swings that may have occurred was on that fourth down. You're a coach that typically likes to gamble a little bit. I think that speaks volumes about your confidence in your team. What particularly went into the thinking there?
Well, anytime we get a chance to go for it, I'm more or less going to go for it. We don't have traditionally the big game breakers, the guys that can go 80 yards. We got to take our chances when we can.
This is a team that frankly has a lot of weapons. Very impressed with your receiving core, but obviously you have Kozeniewski, a big guy with a big arm, and Schul, who's powerful out of the backfield. Alcott's done a tremendous job for you blocking as well. You have to feel pretty good about where this team is and where they're headed for the postseason.
Yeah, our team has gotten better each week. This is the first time our running game's been stopped. Credit to Deptford, they did a nice job there. But Kozeniewski's been getting better each week, I think, with the experience. We knew we had two good wide receivers in Yates and Spengler, and then we had the big tight end, too, Rotella.
Obviously, in the thick of things here for the Tri-County Conference, are you surprised to be where you are?
Well, I said in the beginning, I thought if everything clicked, we could be contenders, and obviously we are contenders now.
Well, congratulations today, Coach. Anytime a team is victorious, they need a leader, and Gloucester Catholic has one of the top leaders here in our area, and Mike Kozeniewski, and Tad's with him now.
Thank you very much, Rob. First of all, congratulations, Mike. How has the running game this year helped you? Even though Deptford stopped you today, how has it helped your passing game?
Well, it really takes the pressure off our wide receivers. The D-backs seem to cheat back a little bit more and give some comfort. And it's just everything underneath is open, so it's just the way it is.
You have a lot of talented receivers from the backfield, wide receivers, tight end. Would you say you have a go-to guy in this team?
All my receivers are go-to guys. I don't want to pick one out, but everybody seems to want to go get the ball, and they did that today.
Now, Deptford's defense did a real good job against your running game. How did you guys adapt to that for the passing game and the 2 touchdowns today, passing-wise?
Well, we figured they would drop back on third downs, and everything underneath is so wide open, and our guys made good routes. So.
Let's give a shout-out to some of the guys on your front line. A lot of times the front line guys don't get a lot of TV time, but I think they did a good job giving you protection today.
They did a great job. They give me plenty of time back there every game, and I just gotta read everybody and throw to the right receiver, I guess.
You guys have an interesting game coming up next week. Next week you have Highland, a team that we know they've kind of struggled a little bit, and then you have Clearview coming up after that, a team you're tied in at first. How tough is it mentally to tell the guys, look, one game at a time, we can't look past this next game?
Well, actually, Holland's been giving us some trouble the past 2 years, so I think we're ready to go out and play them this Friday night. It's a Friday night game, so I think we're all ready to play that game. And then Clearview, it's our rival, so we're just ready to go.
Congratulations on a great effort today.
Thank you.
All right, let's send it back over to Rob.
Well, once again, Gloucester Catholic victorious 14-0 over a Deptford team that really had a tough time this afternoon generating any sense of momentum. It seemed like every time it looked like they were going to gain some rhythm, either it was a broken play or a penalty flag, and that's probably emblematic of what's transpired this season for the Spartans.
And again, they're a pretty good team. I was pretty impressed, especially defensively, what I saw at Deptford today. They showed some really nice things. Offensively, they did struggle a bit. They couldn't quite get the big play when they needed it. A couple mental breakdowns out there. But again, your heart has to go out for these kids because they were playing hard throughout. The record doesn't show, but it's not that bad of a team. They've got some talent out there.
For Gloucester Catholic, this is an opportunity for us on Channel 5 to see them for the first time this season. And Tad, I know you've seen them quite a bit thus far, but very impressed. Their skills people, excellent. Wide receiving core, fantastic. Kozeniewski with a big arm, and defensively, obviously very strong as well.
And that's kind of what sets this team apart from a lot of the other teams around South Jersey is their skilled players. They have a quarterback who can throw the ball and throw it really strongly. He's got to watch his interceptions. That's the one down thing. The other thing is their wide receiver core as a whole, as he mentioned, he really doesn't have a go-to guy, so you can't key on one player. If you leave someone open, Kozeniewski's going to throw him the ball. So offensively, this is a team that's going to cause defenses around South Jersey, and when they move on to the playoffs, a lot of problems.
Well, it always seems like Deptford is the team to beat in the Tri-County Conference. Well, this year that's not the case. The conference is wide open, and Gloucester Catholic in the thick of things, and we'll keep an eye on them as things continue throughout this 2007 scholastic season. Once again, the final score here from Deptford High School, it was Gloucester Catholic shutting out the Deptford Spartans 14-0. For my partner, Tad Kozeniewski, my director, Stan Ritter, and all the crew, I'm Rob Chris. Thanks for joining us. Good night, everybody.